5 seconds to go. Start. Mr. Vice Chairman, the Debar Commission has to be congratulated for the elaborate report it had written and its approach to the subject of tribal welfare. It is necessary for me to direct the attention of the ministry to the fact that there is a great difference between questions affecting the scheduled castes. The case of the scheduled tribes is a peculiar one. They have peculiar modes of living. They have peculiar ways and means of carrying on their trade. They have their many dialects. They are practically separate from the scheduled castes and from the general public. So their problem is not an easy one. It is one of the most difficult problems. Allotting money, laying out schemes is necessary, of course, but the implementation of the scheme is more necessary. They live in hilly areas. They live far away, and I am afraid, with the little experience that I have, I can say that very few people take the trouble of going to places which are not easily accessible, and therefore the advantage and comfort that they should derive from those employed to look after them is not what it should be. My summation is that this problem really does require particular attention, and the first thing on which I wholeheartedly concur with the Commission's report is that there should be separate commissioner for scheduled tribes. As I have said before, the problems of the scheduled castes and those of the tribes are different. The scheduled castes are backward. They have been suffering from a number of disadvantages, but they are very much similar to the backward people of our own country. But these scheduled tribes are very much different. They have their own customs, ways, and manners, and they have their own laws. The greatest difficulty is the dialect. In an area of about 100 kilometers, 10 different dialects are spoken, and one cannot carry on conversation with the other. So, a separate commissioner is absolutely essential. Again, a separate department for tribal welfare is also necessary in all the states where a large number of the scheduled tribe people stay. In addition, there should be periodical checking of the work done. What happens is money is not spent, it is left over, and the places are not visited. Periodical checking of these things is necessary because the implementation of schemes is very essential. In the last 4.5 years, my government has infused new hope and confidence among the people of the country, enhanced the country's image, and has effectively brought in social and economic change. As a result, my government has been able to win immeasurable affection and trust of the people. The main goal of my government is to improve the life of every Indian. Honorable members, for an inclusive and modern development of our country, it needs to be ensured that not a single family is deprived of fundamental needs. My government, which is sensitive to the needs of the common people and understands their pain, has prioritized provision of basic amenities, addressed health concerns of the people, and implemented the government schemes at an unprecedented pace after restructuring them. Lack of toilets had forced crores of Indians, especially our daughters and daughters-in-law, to lead an undignified and unhealthy life. Under the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, more than 9 crore toilets have been constructed. It is the outcome of this mass movement that coverage of rural sanitation that was less than 40% in 2014 has increased to 98%, according to an assessment. Because of the toilets built, numerous poor persons have been spared of various kind of diseases and more than 3 lakh lives have been saved. In the year of the 158th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we must remember that we have resolved in his memory to achieve Swachh Bharat by 2nd October. Honorable members, many of our mothers, sisters, and daughters used to suffer from various illnesses because of smoke-filled kitchens, which also affected health of the entire family, and much of their effort and time were spent in collecting firewood. My government has provided more than 6 crore cooking gas connections to such sisters and daughters under the Ujjwala Yojana. Even after decades of efforts, there were only 12 crore gas connections in the country in 2014. In a short period of last 4.5 years, 13 crore families have been provided gas connections. We are fully aware that the burden of expenditure on medical treatment further impoverishes the poor families. My government, which emphasizes with this pain, has launched the Ayushman Bharat Yojana last year. Under the world's biggest health care scheme, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Abhiyan, 50 crore poor are eligible for availing treatment up to rupees 5 lakh per year per family in case of a serious illness. In a short period of 4 months, more than 10 lakh poor have already availed free treatment from hospitals under this scheme, which is a remarkable achievement. Honorable members, prior to the 2014 general election, the country was passing through a phase of uncertainty. After the elections, my government assumed charge and vowed to build a new India with no place for imperfect, corrupt, and inertia ridden, carved, shaped systems. From day one, the mission of my government, based on transparency, was to improve the lives of our citizens, to eradicate their difficulties owing to poor governance, and to make sure that the benefit of public services reach the lowest strata of the society. The targets of my government were determined by countless and helpless faces, such as that poor mother who cooked in a smoke filled kitchen, that helpless sister who was compelled to postpone her own treatment due to financial worries despite serious illness, that daughter who had to wait the whole day until the cover of darkness for going to the toilet, that child who was compelled to wait for daylight to study with no electricity.